Family is Money Monday. Janai Thornton, our financial specialist, she's here. And we're talking about child support because about 20% of custodial parents are now fathers.
Fathers,
Can we ring the bell, please? Crystal, this is a bell moment. You missed it. Praise the Lord. Meaning more fathers than ever before are getting paid child support. Is that the truth?
Ever before. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Now, men less likely receive as much money as the women do, right?
And it's interesting. If men and women are equal, women still actually going to receive more child support. So a woman on average is going to receive $5,000 a year.
Okay.
A man on average is going to receive about $4,300 a year.
Indeed. The brothers right now saying, like, some of my brothers right now are cringing, like, I'm not getting nothing, but I'm paying everything.
Right.
Fellas, this is just not for you, but be excited about what the brothers are now doing for their children. My question is, like, why are women paying so much in child support nowadays?
Well, I think it's a shift in our culture because you think about it now, women are leading households, 40% of households. Women are breadwinners now. Yeah. And so because women's roles have changed, more men than ever before are either have joint custody or primary custody of their children. So whoever has primary custody of the child can receive child support. So men are receiving child support more than they ever have before. So women have to pay. Absolutely.
Indeed. Hanging out with Janai Thornton, our financial specialist here on the Willie Moe Jr. Show. Today we're discussing child support. And so I've seen a lot of celebrity people who are paying a lot of child support. One in particular, Michael Strahan, he ended up paying like $18,000 a month. Eddie Murphy, $51,000 a month. Right. And then speaking of women paying child support, Britney Spears allegedly pays about $20,000 per month.
Yes.
And so my question to you now is, like, what if a person who's an artist, he's getting paid in cash?
Right.
Like, how he or she, like, how do they monitor that, or is it something that they do to kind of, like, hey, you making cash? Like, how do they get to the cash?
Right. And that's a challenge. And that's a challenge for people, whether you're in the entertainment industry or just for us regular working people out here. And you're trying to figure out what this person's income is, but they're getting paid under the table.
Yes.
Yes. And so normally there's a very different document request. Look at.
No, I'm just happy about that because sometimes you have to do that.
Right. I don't know what that little move was. He just
that little shimmy.
That's my shimmy. Praise the Lord.
But you're going to have to request different types of documents because it's not going to be pay stubs and W-2s and all that anymore.
No.
Yes.
Indeed.
So can we get them bank statements? What else can we do to be able to put that income together? Because again, obviously child support, a factor is what is your gross income? What do you have coming in?
Indeed. So today we're talking about child support because the thing is, men are now receiving child support in like big numbers because women are becoming more independent, becoming breadwinners. And of course, when anything happens as far as separation goes, men are now receiving child support. But I had a few questions for you. And how do the courts determine how much child support you pay?
That depends on each state.
Okay.
So we can't talk in, specifics, but every state has a different formula. And they're going to include everything, obviously, like your income, other children that you may have, your household situation. So every state is a little different, but every state generally has their formula posted on their state website. So it's definitely worth checking that out. Also the other parent's income also can be factored in as well. So definitely check out your state so you can be clear on how they come up with that number.
Indeed. That's good stuff. So, Janai, I got to ask you this because the mother of my child and I, we don't have a court order per se, but do you think there should be some type of formal parental order that we should probably put together, if you don't have that court order?
Well, I think what people really need to prepare for are when times are perfect and when they're not perfect.
Right.
So I think it's better always to have a document to say this is how things are going to go.
Right.
Under these circumstances, and this is how we're going to handle health insurance. This is how we're going to handle education. Let's go ahead and have an agreement on it. But even when you're getting along, I think it's just a great idea. And it doesn't have to be tense. But everyone now, we're all on the same page. Everyone is good. But also, too, sometimes things change. When people get married or remarried, another child comes in.
That's true.
Sometimes it can get a little stressful with those situations. Let's go and have an agreement and be on the same page.
Indeed. To my fellas right now who are listening, honestly, man, communication is the the key. Every single year in August, the end of July, beginning of August, we have a conference call. So I get my wife on the phone, I get the mother of my child on the phone, and I get her husband on the phone, and we kind of talk about what this next year is going to look like. And then in December, we do a follow-up. And so it's important that you keep those lines of communication, at least offer. It doesn't mean that he or she is going to want to do it, but you got to get that communication going, because our goal is ultimately to be the best parents that we can for the child. My question to you, how, like somebody hit me online and say, how do I make sure that she's using the child support correctly? Is there a way that we can do that?
Well, it's all about whether he or she is using the child support correctly, and you really can't control it. But what I've seen a lot of parents do is pay for certain things directly.
Okay.
And say, I'm going to pay for tuition. I'm going to pay for child care. I'm going to be the one responsible for health care. And I know a lot of times people feel different comfort when they are directly sending the money to the camp, the school, the nanny, whatever it is, and not worrying about this exchange of money. But you cannot control that, though.
Indeed. Real quick, if a person cannot afford their child support payments anymore because of hardship, what should they do?
And this is really important, because you hear about all this stuff, people in $200,000 in arrears. You have got
Stevie J. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. It's like $1 million. That's the first thing popped in my mind. Shout out to Stevie J. Praise the Lord.
Who is that, Willie?
It's this guy that's on one of those shows. He's a producer. We got to pray.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So what you want to do is you want to contact child support enforcement right away. And you want to apply for a modification yourself before you get behind, before you get late. Life happens.
Yeah, modification. Family, listen, Janai's going to be hanging out with